Everybody's talking about how crazy the market is right now. But is it really? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what it's like to be either a buyer or a seller in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan for the past month of July 2023. My name's Ryan Guenther, and I'm a local realtor here with Realty Executives Saskatoon. If you find the information in this video helpful and you want to connect with me, I'll leave all my information in the box below, or you can like, comment, and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to be going through the active listings at the start of this past month and how they break down between detached, townhouse, and condos and compare it with 2022, as well as looking at some sold data, both year to date and month to date, to see what the average sale price is looking like. And then finally, I'm going to go through the month's supply within certain price ranges, and that's looking at what kind of activity was there in certain price ranges last month compared with the active listings at the start of this month. And that tells you, if you're a buyer within that price range, what to kind of expect. So to start off August here in 2023, there was 1,082 active listings. Within those 1,082 active listings, there was 748 detached, 129 townhouses, which would be row house attached townhouses, and 210 apartment style condos. Compared to 2022, there was 1,278 active listings at the same time, with 831 detached homes, 131 townhouses, and 308 condos. The sales for this past July were 497, and in 2022 there was 448. So there was quite a bit more sales, about 11% or so, for this past month for July than there was in 2022, even though the active inventory count is down quite a bit, as well as the interest rates at this time are higher than they were last year. So the average sale price month to date throughout the month of July for 2023 was $377,000. The average sale price in 2022 for the month of July was $364,000. So the month to date, just for the month of July, in both years, were up 3.6%. For year to date, which would be the start of January to the end of July, the average sale price in Saskatoon is $376,000. That's only $1,000 off what the month date was for this year. At the same time last year, if we go from January to the end of July, the average sale price in Saskatoon was $371,000. So we're up, our average sale price on the entire year is up 1.3%. Again, with lower inventory and higher interest. Now you're probably thinking, well, if you have lower inventory, but more sales, things are just flying off the shelves, right? That's true to some extent. Ultimately, there are a lot of multiple offer situations that happen out there now. But at the same time, on a month-to-month basis, only an average of around 30% of homes go at or above the list price. So it's not like every single house is magically selling for $10,000 or more over the list price. It's got to be that sort of perfect property. It's got to be a lot more well-priced than it did when the rates were lower. Buyers are a lot more cautious now, and they're a lot more aware of, overpaying necessarily. In 2021 and for the first 6 months of 2022, when rates were quite a bit lower, you could kind of lob the price out as a seller within a $15,000, $20,000 price range a lot of times, and it was selling within a couple days anyways. Whereas now, if you're not priced properly, ultimately you see a lot more reductions now, but the good ones that are priced competitively do sell incredibly quick, again, despite the lower interest rates. So now that we went through some active data, some sold data, some numbers in terms of prices, we're going to go through the month's supply. And the month's supply basically lets you know within what price range how many actives there are at the start of this month versus the sold data from the previous month. And that lets you know if you're a buyer, what's your chance of competing within that particular price range. And if you're a seller and you're selling within that price range, if the month supply is low, that would mean that there are a lot of buyers buying in that price range currently, and there's not that much inventory. So the month supply essentially lets you know within a certain price range what inventory is there versus the sales in last month. Ultimately, if you're a buyer, you can then see what it's going to be like shopping within a particular price range, because then you know if you're heavily competing or not. And if you're a seller and you're looking to sell in a particular price range, you know how many active listings there are that you're competing against as a seller, and ultimately how many transactions there were in your price range the previous month. So for the detached houses, I have it between $200,000 and $500,000, given that that's where a large majority of people are shopping. And within $200,000 to $500,000, the month supply is 1.9. That's dividing the sales of last month into the current actives of this month. So a 1.9 month supply would tell you that there is just not enough inventory relative to the activity. And I'm sure you could kind of understand relative to the previous numbers that yes, there's a lot of sales happening without a large active inventory count. So the month supply will be quite tight. So $200,000 to $500,000, 1.9 month supply. And the tightest month supply is $350,000 to $400,000 on the detached side, and that's at 1.5%. So you know that if you're shopping for that east side home or that higher end west side home, you know, that $350,000 to $400,000 or so, you are going to be competing if it's, you know, new and looks good. On the condo side of things, this would be condos and townhouses. Under $500,000, the month supply is a little bit better at 2.3. So anything under 3 months supply would be deemed not enough inventory, but at 2.3, it's better than the detached side of stuff. So there's a little bit more leeway there. And the tightest condo or townhouse month supply price range would be from $250,000 to $300,000, where the month supply is 1.3. So if you're looking for that newer or nicer 2-bed condo or that, you know, townhouse between $250,000 and $300,000, you know that if it's been, you know, if it's a new listing, you're going to be competing if you're going in to try to buy it. So really, what is it like out there as a buyer? Well, if you're just getting into the market now and you're currently looking through everything on the MLS system that's currently active, if it's not conditionally sold and you can actually get in to view it, if you can't come to a decision from the current actives and you're playing the waiting game, waiting for new stuff to come on the market, you'll have to act fast. There might be some stuff every now and then that comes that is overpriced, and you could maybe get a little bit off that list price, or you might see it get reduced in a few weeks' time. But ultimately, if it shows well and it's priced competitively within the range that you're looking at, you can almost assume you're going to be competing if you're getting in there within the first day or two of it being listed. But again, if you act fast, with almost 500 sales happening in the previous month and only 30% of them going at or above list, there are plenty of properties that are getting conditionally sold within the first day or two, but they're not over the list price. So it's not, it's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world if you're a buyer in the current market. You just got to know what you like, become comfortable with the home buying process and be ready to act fast when something does come available that you're interested in. And as a seller, you're in a fantastic spot to sell your home. Ultimately, between 2021 and early 2022, you were able to get away with overpricing a little bit more because the interest rates, people could afford to pay a little bit more because it ultimately didn't really matter given they were getting free money almost for the first 60 months of their mortgage. Now though, pricing is important. If you've got that sweet property within some of these hottest price ranges, you still get away with a little bit of stuff, but you do have to be tighter on your pricing compared to the last 2 years or so. So I hope you found this report informative here for August 2023 market report here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Again, my name's Ryan Guenther. I'm a local realtor here in Saskatoon. I will leave all my contact information in the description box below if you ever wanted to reach out and connect with me, or you can drop me a comment and I will reply to all comments. Until next time.